Hello and welcome to the Talk of Fame podcast. My name is Kylie Montigney, host of the Talk of Fame podcast, where it is your go-to place for compelling interviews and discussions surrounding important topics like mental health and women empowerment. Today we have Marianne Lababit, who is a high school student who started her social media blog to spread awareness about environmental issues. This has been presented to her with many opportunities such as internships and ambassadorships, which she is grateful for. Welcome to the show. We are very excited to have you.
Thank you. I'm very excited to be on here.
To kick off this episode, like how did you kind of become first interested in environmentalism? That is something that I know a lot of people don't often talk about. So I'm curious, like how did you kind of first find interest?
So I kind of became interested at the start of quarantine or like during COVID. I think at that time I began seeing a lot of advertising for specifically like metal straws or reusable straws, and it caused me to start wondering like why they were so important. But other than that, I feel like there were so many more creators online that were pushing for the same purpose of like spreading awareness, and I wanted to do it too.
Like who are like some influencers? I know this is a very hard question, but what are some influencers and everything that do the same thing as, environmentalism that kind of inspire you to keep pushing?
A lot of people that I used to talk to when I first started my account don't really post anymore, but there's a bunch of businesses. I think it's called Legacy, and she does sustainable like swimwear. And she's somebody who really showed me that you can do so many more things other than just like recycling or like the basic stuff that you learn about.
Mm.
And then the founder of Climate Cardinals, I think her name is Sophia Kiani. I recently discovered her, and I think she's really inspiring as well.
Ooh, I have to check those people out because I never heard of them before, so I definitely have to check those people out and see what they're doing. But what role do you see social media playing in raising awareness about environmental issues? Because I know with you, you do blogging about these issues. So I know with social media, it can be very important to talk about this.
Yeah, I agree. I think social media is growing and it has grown so much, and so many people have access to it. So in my case, I think that's kind of what started me to start my own blog because I saw it online. And it has like such a huge role in informing people because everybody just scrolls and you just like happen to read whatever you see. But even now, besides the news, specific information such as like natural disasters or like pollution in other countries, I feel like I can just read from scrolling online.
I know because with social media, you can literally find the news online, like news articles or social media. Because whenever you see stuff, is always on social media, even if you don't watch the news. So literally, even if you don't want to see it or not, it's literally always on social media, even if we like it or not.
Yeah.
Like, what steps do you take in your own life to reduce your environmental impact, whether you're blogging online or just when you're out and about in California?
So besides posting, I don't know, I don't really use like plastic water bottles anymore, or I try my hardest not to. And so we recycle like plastic and glass. And my mom always has like a compost container in our house. So we use that for like vegetables, scraps, or like eggshells. And something else that I do like in my own house would be plugging out appliances. So whether that be like the microwave or the coffee machine, if they're not in use, it helps to like plug them out. And then recycling old books or clothes or like finding a new home for them, I think that's super important as well.
Are really good resources because of course with California, they are very like climative, like they're like more like hot than maybe some other states like Florida, Arizona, they're on the cusp of that. And with that, it can raise like very much changes in the environment, especially with climate change and everything. I know it's been tons of like topics around that over the recent years, but like doing those things can be so impactful, especially for the environment. Because of course, sometimes people get lazy, oftentimes just dump stuff on the ground. You know how it is. Yeah, they
Yeah.
get very much lazy, and we need less of that these days.
Yes.
Many young people feel passionate about causes, but not might not be unsure of where to start. Like, What advice would you kind of give to other students who want to take action on environmental issues?
I would definitely say to start with educating yourself in any way that you can. There's so many like articles online and posts about environmental issues, whether that be like food waste or the clothing industry and so much more. So after gaining your own knowledge, I guess for students, I would definitely see if you could start your own environmental club because I did one a couple years ago. And if that isn't an option, I think turning to social media and creating your own content is a great way to get your word out there. But overall, try being sustainable in your own life and encourage others around you to do the same because even a small change can be great.
Definitely. I know with a lot of schools, especially where I am in Pennsylvania, they offer environmental clubs, which is awesome. I was in a club or class, whatever it was 2 years ago, and it's crazy to see what statistics are really in the environment right now. And if
Yeah.
you don't have a class or a club at your school, like you said, start a blog like you did or social media because when people see people talking about these issues are most likely to start doing the same thing, even if it's on social media or sign a club, anything can be very impactful, I'm sure.
Yes, I agree.
Your blog has opened so many doors for you to get internships and ambassadorships and so much more. Valuable experience or project from one of those opportunities that had a significant impact on you.
Yeah, so I did an internship around 2 years ago for a website, and that put me on a consistent posting schedule because I had to like give them content and I don't really do that on my own. So posting consistently really gave me the rush of pushing content out quick and with the help of the organization, the feedback was a bit larger. So I think that gave me a good experience in learning how to collaborate with others, especially online. And I'm super grateful that I was able to make posts for them and hopefully make a difference in someone else's life.
I love it. So, how did you decide on the specific topics you cover on your blog? Because I know with blogging, you always are trying to figure out what to like create and what people might be interested in. As someone who blogs myself, I'm like always trying to figure out what to cover. But what about you? Like, how do you kind of choose the covers that you cover on your blog?
The topics I cover on my blog are super broad compared to like what you might see on other people's. So instead of focusing on like certain issues in certain countries or cities, my posts cover the like main idea, I guess, of what's going on. So people can take in the information that I give them on like fast fashion or greenwashing, for example, and they can decide how they can change their lives with that information and reduce those impacts. So I chose to go more broad to help people improve their sustainability because I think a lot of people don't really realize that, like, they can like I said earlier, like, there's so many changes that they could do, instead of just what you usually see online. So, I cover, like, the benefits of plants and how to conserve energy to help people see that they can help in other ways, and it doesn't always have to be, like, zero waste or ex like
I know, like, there's honestly so many things you can cover in the environment, not just one specific issue. I
Yeah.
know it can be very hard to find topics, especially on social media, because, there's always so many things to cover that you're just trying to figure out what to choose. I'm sure it's like you had dealt with the same thing. I know for me, I'm like, what is there to cover now? Like, there's so
Yeah.
many things. Like, it is very hard to choose, especially as a blogger, and to find all much information because some articles, whether you're writing about climate change or something, there might be a little to a lot of information depending on what you're writing about, which,
Yeah.
sometimes can be a pain in the ass, to say the least. And to wrap this up, like, how can people connect with you and your blog?
So my name is Marianne, and you can find me on Instagram and TikTok at being eco-friendly. Um, I don't know, I'm active all the time, so if you need anything, you can just reach out.
Awesome. So make sure to go check her out. I really recommend. I read her blog post this morning and they're really amazing. So I recommend checking her stuff out whenever you can. But thank you everyone for listening. I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their day. Make sure to like, subscribe, and review. And thank you so much for coming on and taking time to chat with us and keep up with the amazing work because it's really making a difference and definitely needs to be talked about more.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So thank you for listening. I'll talk to you guys very soon.